Welcome back to the show, everybody. It may be Sunday, but it's a fun day. I love the smell of crypto in the morning. Check this out. Have we got evidence now from Chris Larson that XRP is a note? When something is a note, we're going to talk about it. Stay with me, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, how about Polysign? Are they set up to move and settle quadrillions of dollars worth of derivatives and other products? Well, I tell you what, we're going to roll that beautiful intro and find out.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter for exclusive content. Right now, $1.17 trillion market cap for cryptocurrency. It's up 2.6%. Good morning, everybody. Bitcoin now 24,600 plus. Ethereum 1696 and change. Tether market cap is 70.2 billion, they say, and XRP is 39 cents. We're up 1.6 on the 24-hour and 2.9 on the 7-day. Let's take a look at this before we get started. It's linked to where you can get private equity like Ripple, Polysign, Acorns, linked to itself, Rippling, and I'm telling you, Uphold, Unstoppable Domains. There's so much opportunity on this platform. Do not miss your chance to do it. And I don't mind telling you too, right while you're at it, check out my sponsor, Glint. Buy, save, send, and spend gold instantly. Now, I'm about to top my card off again. I can tell you that because I love being able to get it and have it on my app and then have it to my MasterCard debit card, which if I need to, I can spend it anywhere. These are things that I'm doing outside of crypto, whether it be private equity like Link2 or getting more gold in my Glint Pay and Glint app. This is stuff I like to do outside of crypto, and it really makes me feel very, very good. Click the links to the sponsors underneath the video. Let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot to do, and I'm gonna tell you right now, some of this you have seen before if you've been with me for a while, but I have something you have not seen, and I need you to stay with me today. I'm going to move through it. I put it all in a very easy-to-follow thread for all of us, and you tell me where all of this is going. Let's start here. Again, some of this you've seen, but stay with me. I got something I don't believe you've ever seen. Right here. The thread starts, I don't know where this case goes. And we may be days or weeks away, by the way, of finding out exactly where it goes. But I am saying that the Reeves test is very important to the SEC when it comes to crypto and stablecoins. And banks too. Will XRP become a stablecoin? Let's take a look. And I've got more information that you have not seen. And I think the way we're going to lay this out today is going to be extremely important. Please stay till the end. You will not be sorry. We know very quickly, and I'll move through this because we've seen it before, G30 Mark Carney, former Bank of England governor, has suggested XRP as a global stablecoin could be offered to help the world in the manner that we know it. There it is right there. Now let's keep moving, right? Let's keep moving. I want to get to the good stuff. Then we know also that in this from the World Bank suggested that stable coins are in fact XRP and XLM. We know this. This is the World Bank that said this. Now let's keep moving very quickly. We got a lot to see. The Bank of China suggested just last summer that they believe Ripple, in fact, the currency has a stable support, preferably one-to-one reserve. Safety and liquidity of reserves must be guaranteed. This is them talking about maintaining the stability of Ripple. A stable exchange rate is formed by anchoring various legal currencies in reality, such as the U.S. dollar, a basket of currencies, a combination of commodities. This is them talking about the Ripple coin XRP is what they're talking about here. The conversation continues. Stay with me now. Remember this clip? Let's hear them all. You need to hear them all.
Year he was sort of has been a catalyst for change. It's around the globe. Those in the payment business, central banks and private sector have started to think about payment systems a little bit different. There's some competition, so to speak, from decentralized bearer forms of value transfer. Now, some people will call it currency, but none of these projects have really taken on a full general embodiment of a medium of exchange, unit of account, and store of value. Bitcoin's being used for ransomware around the globe. There's like incentives here to use a bearer form of value transfer. And that's what a lot of this is. It's a bearer form of value transfer. We already have digital money.
Yeah.
We have digital money.
Yeah.
We use it every day of the week. We use digital money. So what do you mean when you say you view...
let me try and make this easy. Bearer instruments, we've dealt with for the last 50 years. We don't tolerate bearer instruments.
It took 2 or 3 years. It took, yes, an enforcement action. Yes, it took the definition of what is a security. In that case, I think it might have been the Howie test, but it might have been another one. It's called the Howie test. There's other broad brushes with regard to this as well, as to when something is a note, called the Reeves test that Thurgood Marshall wrote.
Looks a lot like a securities offering, right? And so we're going to treat that as a securities offering. We're going to regulate that. And so that's kind of how we look at it through that lens. Now, there are other pieces of the definition of security, like what's a note, that may come up in the crypto context as well.
There you have that. Then here's Gary Gensler explaining that XRP is a stable value.
In Nigeria, you need somebody to bear some counterparty risk that the ledgers both move and are adjusted at the same time. And usually it's a bank that is in both countries. You could use blockchain, but the current thinking is you need a bridge currency in between, and that bridge could be a stable value that's backed by the U.S. dollar or the euro. It could be a currency even like Ripple has an alternative. It's just piloted in May, so it's not yet up in any enterprise-wide level.
This is before he was at the SEC, obviously explaining exactly how XRP works, right? This here is last summer. Senator Toomey, I'm not going to play the whole thing. Take a listen here.
Contract. So, for instance, stablecoins do not have an inherent expectation of profit. They're just linked to the dollar. Now, you might use them in an attempt to make a profit, but that's a second-order activity. Is it your view that stablecoins themselves can be securities?
I think that, Senator, they may well be securities. As Thurgood Marshall wrote in the Reeves opinion.
And there you have that right there. I don't need to play the whole thing. You got it. But what you need to hear now, remember, the World Bank says that XRP is a stable coin. Mark Carney, former bank governor in the group of 30, talking to the president's working group here, think that XRP is a stable coin for cross-border payments. The Bank of China suggests it as well. The banking world understands it this way. The political world is talking and understanding XRP in this manner as well. Now listen to last May, I believe it was, where Matthew Solomon, Brad Garlinghouse's lawyer, is on stage at a conference about crypto and litigation, discussing the Reeves test closely. Matthew Solomon pokes the SEC attorney, Steve Buchholz, and more importantly, pay very close attention to what he's asking him about and how he cannot respond to Matthew in a way that he may like.
I think I looked yesterday what's happened with all that. There may have been some extensions. I don't think we have clarity on that. Finding something, it's not a finding that's legally binding. This is the way that these settlements are styled. But the commission found that this lending product was a equity security, an investment contract, but also that it constituted a note under the Reeves test, and they set that out, the commission set that out in the settlement order. This is a way, I guess, of giving some kind of guidance through this settled order of how expansive the commission believes the Reeves test is in relation to lending products, not just equity security, but also, in their view, a debt security. Others going to follow suit. Because clearly there must be other inquiries going on of similar products, since, again, BlockFi is not the only one out there like this. So that's my perspective on it. I don't know if others have views, because I do think this is an effort. I don't know, Steve, if you can talk any more about it, probably not, but to give some information to the marketplace. And those are my personal views about what the commission's trying to do, but if you can elaborate on that for us, that'd be great.
asking for clarity and the conversation to provide clarity put to Steve Buchholz is about the Reeves test.
Yeah.
This is Brad Garlinghouse's lawyer.
I can't elaborate in any way that you would enjoy. I don't think.
Oh, it's a big joke
But
amongst the lawyers, right? Because he knows that I'm speculating that he knows that Matthew Solomon's representing Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse, and I believe that this issue of Reeves test is much bigger than it appears in the summary judgment filings. The argument is over Howie. But Reeves is referenced as case law by the SEC in the summary judgment. It is not their argument, but it is referenced as a backstop to their argument. Let's not forget that as we listen.
I don't disagree, however, with your read of the order, which does, to me, make some significant findings regarding the application of Reeves and the note analysis to lending products, as well as noting that these types of pooled crypto can require registration under the Investment Company Act.
Know that Ripple has a leasing program and also on-demand liquidity. It does not commingle those funds with any speculative buying or retail level or secondary market sales. I want to be clear about that, however.
Those seem, to me, just based on the reading of the public document and the findings, to be pretty significant.
And like Matt said, we'll have to wait and see whether they can pull off the registration, because I think we all have experienced dealing with trying to register anything with the SEC. It's not always an easy path. There'll be significant development, and it'll be a path that others might follow. We're going to have to see. But what I also was significant that of course that the Reeves test has been talked about in the crypto space, but I don't think it had been used in an SEC case until BlockFi.
DeFi money market, which was the smaller one? DeFi money market was the smaller one, but shortly before, also in the last year.
So we all learned Howie. Now we got to go learn Reeves. So I guess that's part of the homework now. Thank you, SEC.
While you're on the topic, one of the key components of that analysis is whether there's an alternative regulatory scheme that provides protection to the participants or investors. And that's a significant component in this space, especially where things are at in terms of activities to protect investors in this space by other regulators. So I just, not that I know where that's heading or anything. I just flag that as one of the key elements.
Keep
No,
listening.
I think that's right. It's kind of a broad concept, right? Whether there's some other regulatory regime, one would query whether you need it if you have sophisticated buyers, sellers who are willingly, participating in a new type of asset market. But I think clearly the SEC sees it as its role to ask that question under that test, and I'm sure we're going to hear that talked about more.
It's interesting because what they're discussing there at the end there is about being a qualified investor, so they can move it to a place where there's more sophisticated investors that have an opportunity to be in that. Stay with me, because this you have not seen. Credit to Digital Asset Investor for finding this piece to the puzzle. Chris Larson, after starting eProsper, the first online lending platform, was in fact sued by the SEC. Want to guess what the finding in the ruling was? You guessed it, when something's a note, ladies and gentlemen. The SEC makes clear why it considers Prosper a seller of securities and why it should be regulated by the SEC. Thus, Prosper notes are securities under Reeves. Now, let me ask you the question. Is it possible that Chris Larson's prior experience gave him the insights needed to understand exactly how the SEC would see XRP? Although the Reeves test is only referenced as case law in the SEC summary judgment, will it play a role in the judge's ruling or an appeal? Will XRP become a stablecoin? And will it be a security or a currency when it does? Because it could be either one under the Reeves test, depending on the ruling. And will retail investors be able to continue to buy and sell and hold in the same manner after the SEC versus Ripple ruling? I personally believe XRP is a virtual currency, and we could be days or weeks away from finding out. Before we get out of here, I want to show you this. I played it yesterday, but I want to show it to you again. Shout out to DAI for sharing this one. I got to talk to Jack McDonald, CEO of Polisign, and listen what he says when I ask him if Polisign is similar to DTCC, and he explains that it is, but it's actually built to serve a larger market than the quadrillions dollar market that the DTC settles currently. Come on in.
You know, to the layman, like, you know, is it wrong to really see like what Polysign and standard custody are doing as like the next iteration of the DTCC?
I just read an article, a good article by Matt Levine, who writes for Bloomberg. He used to be a regulator that talks specifically about this. There's definitely a component to DTCC. I think in some ways, Atomic Net would be a part of a future DTCC. And I would love to be able to snap my finger. The difference between us and DTCC is that DTCC is a common, essentially clearinghouse for all different brokers and custodians to come in, and they're the one centralized, trusted, recognized, settlement house in the U.S. We're not, we're one of I don't want to say many, we're one of several. So, slightly different on that. But there's a component of it, and what we want to do on this settlement layer would provide definitely a DTCC-like utility to a much bigger outside, not just U.S. global, and not just equities, but all asset class. So that is part of the vision, to be that.
And what a vision that is, ladies and gentlemen. And I try to imagine myself thinking, how could XRP play a role once we have clarity for the asset going forward in helping Polisign do exactly what they're planning to do? I tell you what, this is the most fascinating industry and things I have ever watched and followed in my life. I'm not going anywhere. It's every day I get up, there's something brand new, and it's so exciting. And I tell you what, it is not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'm just sharing my digital perspectives. And every once in a while, you got to make a video, and it doesn't matter what people are going to think of it. You just know today's the day that I need to make this video, and today's one of those days, and I hope you stay till the end. I'll catch all of you on the next one.